Hey everybody, welcome to the Wise Podcast. My name is Adam McLean. We're going to start off today's show with just a whole bunch of tips and other youth ministry thoughts from Jim Hancock.
The two fuels of a road trip are sugar and caffeine. If you get enough sugar in kids, you can get them to do anything you ask for as long as you ask, as long as you stop for more sugar and more caffeine. That, of course, raises the possibility that their bladder control may not be the same as yours. So I say, when somebody starts to cry, they really do have to go. Things that made sense at the time. I was bringing a group of kids out of a week of wilderness camping, and we got back on the bus that we had rented from the Christian school in the neighborhood. And having spent 7 days on the trail and a very physical environment, what could possibly happen but that the intern would start a wrestling match with one of the boys. 12 broken bus windows later, I said, we should probably stop this now. Now, in fairness to all of us, it seemed like those bus windows broke incredibly easily. But the notion that I then returned the bus to the Christian school and didn't tell anybody that we'd broken the windows, that came back to haunt me a few days later, and for quite a few years after that. So bus wrestling, out. Not owning my mistakes, out. Finding an ending to this story, not going to happen. You know what kids like? Kids like to be tricked. There's nothing they enjoy more than being picked out of a crowd, brought up front, and humiliated in front of their friends. I think that if we could do anything in the future of youth ministry, it would be to make kids feel worse about themselves at every opportunity. One of the things that people face when they begin to volunteer in youth ministry, especially if they're working with middle schoolers, is that they have done everything they could to forget that smell, the odor of testosterone and progesterone in its native and new formed state. There's something about walking into a room full of sweaty heads that takes some people to a place that they just thought they'd never have to go again, and certainly don't want to go. And yet, past a certain point, and it may be a point of craziness, that's the smell of growth. That's what it is that tells us that we're in the right place, because the people there can become almost anything that we can help them journey. I love that smell.
Thanks for that, Jim. Next up on the show is Chuck Bomar, and he has this devotional to share with you.
Hey, I just want to take a couple minutes just to try to encourage you. I know in my ministry, I've been in ministry for over 15 years now, and I have times of feeling lost. I have times of feeling like aimless in ministry. What am I supposed to be doing? And sometimes even after 15 years, I think back, I feel like I'm right back in where I started. Just not knowing where to go and what to do. And in the course of 15 years, I've had times where I felt really clear of where I was doing and where I was going, and then those seasons seemed to end, and I end up back in a season of kind of aimlessness and kind of lacking direction or even passion for what I'm doing. So I just wanted to take some time to maybe encourage you if you're in that spot. And there's a passage recently that I was studying and I actually taught on that I want to share with you, and it's found in the book of John, chapter 16. And it's Jesus talking to his disciples. And it starts back in chapter 14 when he starts to tell them that he's going to be leaving. And they're freaking out. And they've walked with Jesus personally, physically with him right there for a while. And they've watched him go into circumstances and come out of circumstances and watched how he lived and all those things. And there was a sense of comfort with his physical presence. And then you fast forward to chapter 16 and verses 5 through 7. And Jesus says something so amazing to me, and I think it's encouraging. He looks at him, he says, look, it's actually better if I leave. And I kind of think about that, and I don't know, but this is what he says. I think the disciples were kind of thinking that too, like, what do you mean it's better that you leave? We don't know what we're doing, we're aimless. He says, look, I'm leaving because if I don't leave, the Spirit won't come. And he says it's better that way. It's better that if I do leave. See, sometimes I think in the aimless times and seasons and lacking direction, I don't know about you, but sometimes I just feel like I just wish Jesus was sitting right here and I could just directly ask him and I can audibly hear his voice. But the truth is, and the comfort is that that would be worse. I know that sounds like heresy, but it would actually be worse. It's better that he's not here. Why? Because the Spirit is here. And I'm encouraged by Romans chapter 8. It says, look, even if you don't know what to be praying for, the Spirit does. And even though you feel like you're aimless, the Spirit's not. And he's living in you. And I know that this is kind of a theme that you maybe even teach on in your ministry, but to embrace personally in times of discouragement, it's hard. And I just want to encourage you. Be encouraged. Jesus is not physically with you, but it's better because the Spirit is in you. And he knows exactly where you're going to be. He knows exactly where you are. And he's meeting you where you are if you let him. So I just want to encourage you just to pay attention, to have a sense of comfort with the Spirit being with you, and trust him with his ministry that you're a part of. God bless you.
Hey, thanks for watching the show today. I want to invite you to connect with me. You can send me an email at adam@youthspecialties.com, or you can look me up on facebook.com/youthspecialties, or Twitter, or whatever. We even have a MySpace. You know, there's like 4 of us there, and it's pretty awesome. Hey, we want to let you know that we're going to take a little break here on the YS podcast through the holidays, and we'll see you in the new year, okay? But we do want you to know that your ministry matters. We say that in every single episode because we know you don't hear it enough. So we want you to hear it from our heart, from the whole staff at YS, that your ministry matters, that you just keep doing what you're doing, and it matters because it matters to the parents in your ministry, it matters to the students, but most importantly, it matters to the heart of God. We'll see you in a few weeks, and thanks for watching.